The NFL draft is over. NFL free agency period for the most part is over. So now it's time to take a look at the starting offense for the Bears and how it's shaping up to be. So what is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking some NFL. And as you see on the whiteboard behind me, I've got all the positions listed out for the Bears starting offense. And so I'm going to go through every single one, give you guys the starter, I believe, for that position, talk a little bit about it, and yeah, we'll have fun along the way. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe because I do post a lot of Chicago Bears content on this channel. Make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms, guys. As always, hit the bell icon so you're, in fact, notified every time I drop a new video. All right, let's get into it, people. At the quarterback position, of course, unquestioned starter going into this year in year two, Justin Fields. And folks, it feels great to have, a unquestioned starting quarterback. Now, I'm not saying Justin Fields has proven he's the real deal. He still needs to do that. But the fact is, every offseason for the past couple of seasons has always felt like, okay, who's going to be the starting quarterback, right? Is it going to be Dalton, Foles, Trubisky? Like, you went through that whole carousel, and it was just annoying. It's like, when are we going to get quarterback? So it just feels good to know that there was no battle here. There's nothing to talk about. Justin Fields is the unquestioned starting quarterback going into year two, and hopefully he is primed for a big season, a breakout season. Obviously, I'm going to be rooting for him, and obviously Bears fans are going to be as well. The backup is going to be Trevor Siemian. He is the backup that we signed. We cut Nick Foles, let him go, and so, of course, we're not too worried about the backup position. But Justin Fields, the starting quarterback. All right, let's take a look at starting running back. Another position where there are no question marks about it. It is David Montgomery. I could have just wrote Monty for short. But, yeah, folks, David Montgomery, our bell cow workhorse. I expect him to have a big year going into his contract season. Going into his last season of his contract. And Monty, I believe, is going to be a big part of this offense because I think we're going to run the football a lot. At the goal line, he's going to be used. In the passing game, he's going to be used. So Monty is going to be an absolute bell cow workhorse. Yeah, we got guys behind him in, obviously Khalil Herbert, Darrington Evans we signed. But for the most part, Monty is going to get the lion's share of the workload. All right, here we go. With the wide receiver position, we have, for the most part, I think 2 wide receiver positions that are absolutely set at this point, and that is Darnell Mooney, who is going to be the unquestioned number 1 receiver, and then the number 2 spot, I believe, is also locked in, and that's going to be Byron Pringle. So let's talk about Darnell Mooney. He had 1,000+ yards last season with a very shoddy quarterback play, and now he's going to have another year of development with Justin Fields being the unquestioned starter, so no Allen Robinson to take away targets, and I expect Mooney to have a big season. In that same kind of vein here, we got Byron Pringle coming off a sort of second half breakout season with the Chiefs, and he's going to be the number 2 guy. I expect him to be used a lot in the red zone as kind of a big body threat, if you will. So I think Byron Pringle is going to be a solid number 2. I would prefer him to be a number 3, honestly. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but again, at this point, he's our number 2. And then our number 3 wide receiver spot, this one, there's some question marks about it. So I'm going to write down the guys that I think could be the starter here at this position. We got Velus Jones Jr., we got Equinemius St. Brown, and we got David Moore. Okay? A lot of you guys might not have thought about David Moore. We did sign him, former Seattle Seahawk, and I do think he has a chance to start. Now, let me explain. So Velus Jones Jr., obviously, he's the rookie we drafted, and, his talent is off the charts. And so he is going to be given every opportunity to showcase that he can start and should start. So obviously he could slot into that number 3 spot. But you can also say that he might not be ready right away. They might ease him in. He's a rookie. He's got to learn the playbook. And so Equinemius St. Brown, who you signed from the Packers, could be the guy at the number 3 spot. But, playing devil's advocate here with ESB, Equinemius St. Brown, we could also say he doesn't have a lot of experience, hasn't played a lot, and so maybe he also needs some time to come along here. And so the guy with the most experience here, most ready receiver, if you will, is actually David Moore, and he's a bit of a deep threat, which is really going to be helpful for Justin Fields. So maybe he could start as well. So it could be either of these 3 folks, and I would say probably my money on who's going to start is probably St. Brown, just because, again, we signed him, we paid him, and then there's a chance I think Moore starts as well. I would say Velus Jones Jr., we're going to bring him along a little bit slower. So I don't think he starts right away. But again, he could end the season as a starter. All right, tight end, no questions about it here. We got Comet. He's going to be the starter behind him. We've got very good depth at the tight end position. You got Ryan Griffin coming over from the Jets, and then you got James O'Shaughnessy coming over from the Jaguars. Both guys, very solid backup tight ends. All right, so Comet, hopefully he has a breakout season. Was solid last year, but no touchdowns. I need that TD number to go up, Cole. All right, here we go. Fullback. We also have a starter here, and his name, in case you guys did not know, is Kari Blasingame from the Tennessee Titans. And Blasingame actually was a solid fullback. He can catch a little bit out of the backfield, and he'll obviously help block for David Montgomery, so I like that. And we are, I think, going to be using the fullback position, or else we wouldn't have signed him. All right, so there we go. Now, the offensive line position, the spots that everybody cares about. Who are your unquestioned starters? And I think we've got 2 locks and 3 locks and maybe 4. We'll see. But at the center spot, Lucas Patrick coming over from the Packers, folks. We signed him, obviously, in free agency. We gave him a decent amount of money. He's got experience. He's good at the position. I think he is the unquestioned starting center for the Chicago Bears. No questions asked, Lucas Patrick. All right, here we go. Now, at the left tackle spot, I believe it is going to be Tevin Jenkins, right? Second-year player who is coming off that back surgery. Didn't play a lot in his rookie season, but I believe they've been moving him around here, but I believe he ends up at that left tackle spot. And Tevin Jenkins, to me, is going to solidify this position. You're talking about the position that is arguably the most important on the line. You know, Justin Fields' blind side, if you will. So Tevin Jenkins, who's a mauler, hopefully he's got a big year ahead of him. I believe he's going to be the starting left tackle. All right, here we go. So the left guard position, I think that's going to be Cody Whitehair. I think this is another lock. Cody Whitehair, one of our most stable offensive linemen, and he's going to remain in the starting lineup. It's just a matter of moving guys around. Okay, so the left side of the line and the center spot set. Here we go with sort of the question marks here. The right tackle, right guard spot. The right tackle spot, you can maybe say it's Larry Borum, who's obviously rookie last year, going to the second year, former 5th-round pick, and he was decent. He showed some promise in his first season. And then you've got at the right guard spot Dakota Dozier, and these are the weaknesses of the Bears, the right side of the line, because, we did draft some rookies, and so maybe you see a guy like a Braxton Jones here that could potentially start. And I would probably bet that he ends up being the starter for the Bears in the season. Maybe Dozier starts out at the beginning, but I do think he ends up being the starter. Or you could also do, actually, I should have put Braxton over at the right tackle spot, excuse me. And then over here, just to reiterate, you could also do Sam Mustafer here, who, again, was our starting center last year. And so basically, what I'm trying to tell you is there's a lot of moving around here at the right tackle and the right guard spot. And so I would venture to tell you that I believe the starters at the end of the year will be Larry Borum, and then over here, Sam Mustafer could become the starting right guard, or maybe you can move Braxton over there. We'll see if he can play that position. But the right side of the offensive line are really where the question marks are. I wrote that inversely. I should have corrected that, but I did now. And so really with Patrick, Whitehair, Jenkins, these guys, we know that they're going to be starters for the Bears for sure. So there we go, folks. This is the starting offense for the Chicago Bears. You would like, obviously, a little bit more receiver talent, but at the same time, you've got depth at certain positions. You got good skill players in Monty and Mooney, and then the offensive line has improved. Hopefully, it continues to do so. But there you have it, the starting offense for the Bears. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching.